Stress. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you're watching me from. Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, my YouTube channel, your nurse Kovia Namhula, back again with some interesting topic that we always experience in a day-to-day life. All of us experience stress. So today, or right now, I want to let us know a few things about stress. Some of you would say, is stress healthy? Others would say, is it so harmful? So let's dig into stress and we get to know, is stress entirely harmful? Is stress something we can benefit from? So if you've not yet tuned in, please, you can look at this video on my YouTube channel. Just look for it. Look for Nance Kovia Uganda. On my TikTok, it's Nance Kovia Namhula. On my Facebook, it's Hilda Scholastic. On LinkedIn, it's Kovia Namhula. And on my Instagram, it is still Hilda Scholastic. So welcome. As I said, we are just ushering in 2026. We are still singing the word Happy New Year. I believe Happy New Year ends like in Feb. So we are still using the January to say Happy New Year to everyone. So as we still sing the word Happy New Year, we want to make sure that this year really becomes the happiest and fulfilled year for each and every one of you. I want to ensure that not only me, even you, we have to make it a deal to see that this year is the best out of the best. How are we going to make it the best? The only option we have is to always look up to God first. That would be God, Jehovah, Allah, depending on how you call him. After looking up to him, the next thing you should look after is your health. Health. Remember, you're the engine of your life. If you're not healthy, trust me, nothing will move. If you're not healthy, nothing will go ahead. So thank you very much for always giving me time to listen in. As I said, I always say thank you to everyone that nominated me to become the nurse of the year among the top 3 nurses in the year 2026. I was humbled, I'm still humbled to be recognized as one of the nurses that makes a contribution in people's lives. So I was so humbled, and I continue celebrating my reward from the people I serve. Thank you very much for appreciating whatever I do for you. It is not by might, but it's by God's grace that I'm able to serve you the way how I serve you. So thank you for always appreciating the little I try to do for you. So we are here again. We want to look at stress. Stress. Everyone says, I'm stressed. But before we continue, did you know that your mind, that is in a layman's language, controls everything about your body? If you tell your mind that you're stressed, trust me, the next few seconds, your entire body will just release whatever causes stress, and it will be stressed. So your mind scientifically is known as the brain. Did you know that it's your brain that controls everything around you? If anything tampers with your brain, you're the same as someone who is already dead. So if you consider yourself as dead, the brain will make you die. If you say that you're confused, trust me, that brain will start releasing confusing cells, confusing fights in your body, and then you'll be confused. So let's refrain from feeding our brains the wrong things, and we ensure that our brains are always alert and healthy. So today we are looking at stress. What's stress? What is stress? So stress is something that is just natural, that the body will automatically respond to whatever situation it's going through. And most of you, we would see people saying, this person is aggressive, this person fights. So during a stressed moment, the body automatically turns on the flight and fight mode. So you will see someone reacting. So it is that makes you think you're stressed. So the body automatically will respond by either being in a flight or fight mode. Flight meaning you're running away from the danger. Fight meaning you're standing within the danger and trying to fight it. So is stress good or is stress bad? Remember, we are here to learn on how best we can improve on our health and live a fulfilled, healthy life. Yes, let's start. There are different categories of stress. There's what we call something that is short term. There's something that will be long term. So, as I told you from the start, it is entirely your brain that will control, and it is you, whatever you'll feed your brain, that will control whether you'll ensure that your stress will be short term or your stress will be forever and ever. So, yes, stress is very beneficial and stress is also harmful. So these are different ways of how stress is beneficial. Did you know that if you're stressed, your body, your health is improved, but temporarily its immune system is improved? How? Because remember, when you're stressed, when this body gets frightened, it activates some things in your body. So it will activate some immune system. Your immunity will temporarily improve because it is ready to ward off. It's ready to fight off. Either it's an infection, either it is whatever it is that is happening. So because the body is trying to respond in a positive way to whatever is causing the stress, so it will try to fight off in a positive way by boosting your immunity. That is, if the stress is not going, you're not going to make it continuous. Did you know that if you have that short-term stress, it improves on your brain? You become more alert. You're so vigilant. So if you're in a state that nothing always triggers you, you will never know how important, how alert, how smart you are. So it is always good to have a situation that a little bit stresses you. Yeah? Did you know that stress is very important and it really improves on your performance? Let me give you an example. Like you have some deadlines to meet. So if you have that disturbing moment, you're a bit stressed, your body is trying to react like, okay, I have a deadline to meet. Do you know that if you put yourself in that situation temporarily, you can improve on your performance and your output will be positive? Yes, stress is not entirely bad. So there is good stress and there is that will harm your body. So, but how you handle it is what matters. Remember, we are here to learn how we are going to improve on our health. So those are the few things how stress is going. Stress will also help you to think ahead. You know, to always know. Remember in one video I told you, is it a what if or a what next? So if you're a bit stressed, if you're a bit out of your comfort zone, if you're deep shaken, did you know that in that moment, that stress that you're getting is giving you a way to think out of the box? And you say, if this happened, what am I going to do next? Yeah, stress is very important. So never run away from stress. When does stress become bad? Yes, however much stress is good, but stress is also harmful. The stress I'm talking of being harmful is this chronic stress. Remember from the beginning I said, whatever you feed your mind, the body, the spirit, it is what will manifest. Imagine on a daily basis, you're telling yourself you're stressed. The body will not release any happy hormones. They will always release those depressed hormones. And whenever it is an excess, there will be your health will be in danger. You will start developing weird diseases that you've never heard of. Let me give you an example. A few diseases that you can develop because of being chronically stressed. So a few diseases, I believe some of you have been in a situation that you have a friend or a family member, you don't have any history of diabetes. But from nowhere, you go to hospital, they run tests, you're told you have diabetes. And you're wondering, how did this diabetes come about? The issue is not that it should run in the family. Now we have to go back and look at your lifestyle. What are your stress levels? So it is not good to be stressed all the time because you're making your body to become weak. So if you have chronic, remember I told you it boosts your immunity, but it is temporarily. If it is not something that you're going to carry on chronically. So if you want it not to shatter your immunity, just know how to handle stress. Just make sure you don't chronically be stressed all the time. Don't feed your mind that I'm stressed. No. Start thinking and telling your mind that you're not stressed, you can handle the situations. Because if you're chronically stressed, you will also lack sleep at night. You'll end up having a cycle of like you sleep for 1 hour or 2 hours, and at a specific time, you're automatically waking up. You might be sleeping and like at 2, you wake up. So do you know what you've pushed yourself into because of the chronic stress? That would be what we call depression. So we are not here to push ourselves into diseases. We don't want to be sick. Remember, I told you my aim for coming up on these different social platforms is to ensure that each one of us is healthy and enjoying their life. My dear brothers and sisters out there, stress is good and stress is bad. But most importantly, what determines whether you're going to continue with the good stress or the bad stress is entirely your mind, your brain. So it is on this point that I encourage each one of you to move away from that state of always feeding your mind with wrong information. That I'm stressed. Okay. So did you know that yes, it has been out of control? It is entirely out of control. You try to minimize the stress, but you haven't been able to minimize it or control it. Now it is chronic. It is becoming chronic. How are we going to do? How are we going to handle this situation that is now moving from something that would be referred to as normal to the abnormal side of it? Remember, when it is stress, we are looking at your mental health. It is your mental status. Besides the mental status, later on, if it is too chronic, it will now come into your physical health, that it will start attacking the different body systems of your different body systems. So before we run and go so deep into being chronic and our body system is affected, remember we are here to make sure that we are never going to that edge of affecting our health. Remember, we are the engines of our lives. So what are we going to do? So did you know, I always have this statement to myself. You should never worry about something you have no control over. Let me give you an example. Like, you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. So why would you stress yourself? I know we all have children, we all have responsibilities, we all have different things we are looking after. So why would you stress about a situation that has not happened? I will encourage each and everyone to always take life as it comes. Treat life as it comes. Treat the situation as it comes. Remember, whatever situation that you face, there's always a way out. There's nothing that is impossible. So as you face challenges, always remember that your mindset controls everything. So it is high time you change from the negative mindset and then turn your mindset into the positive way. Let me give you an example. Like, if today I don't have money, I have nothing to do about it. But besides not having money, there are people, God created people, different people. God blesses you through people. You can always reach out to someone, and that issue is sorted. There are banks, there are what. So there is always a solution for whatever challenge you're going through. Never pile stress on yourself. Always seek for help. Even if it is in marriage, you're going through an abusive marriage, make sure that you have ways of solving issues. And in this case, I encourage each and every one of you to always have one person. We call him a confidant. Someone you can freely confide in, and this person redirects you on how best you can handle. You don't just, if you feel the stress is too much before you reach your confidant, I always tell people, if you feel the situation is too much, go sit somewhere, meditate. If you can't meditate, go on a street where you're not known, meet someone, ask for their time. Just let them know that you just want to pour out whatever is on your heart, such that you're settled and that stress is out. That person will never know who you are, where you came from, but you're just looking for a safe place where you can pour out whatever is on your heart, such that you don't become stressed and continue to endanger your health. So if you have a confidant. So the best solution of how we should manage and make sure that we contain our stress is to always have what we call a confidant. Remember, no man is an island. We can never solve our issues on our own. It is always good to have a confidant, and not everyone is going to be a confidant. So always make sure that before you say this one is my confidant, you have stayed with that person for a number of years or a number of months, because there's an instance of you sharing your issue to someone, instead of being a healing piece, that person will make the problem more bigger and worse. So it is always good to make sure that you have analyzed this person that is going to be your confidant and is going to handle your situations at all times. That person should be available to you 24/7. And if you choose that person, he or she might not choose you back. That is not a problem. The issue is for you, if you feel you're confident with him, this person always solves your issues, please go ahead and have him or her as your confidant. So we are all stressed every now and then. There are things that are going to stress us, but from today onwards, I want us to learn how to handle the stress. If you know that there's nothing you can do about something, please don't get stuck in that situation. Move on, and move on. Let's not endanger our health. Let's not endanger our mental health by getting stuck in things we have no control over. And if you don't have any control, or you don't have control over the situation, that I've encouraged you, look for someone to speak with. And that person should be a trusted person that will help you understand what you're going through and why, and then give you the way forward. And always remember this as a secret. Always be willing to learn. Be flexible. Some of us continue suffering in that stressed moment because we never appreciate, we never understand that it is change, it is growth. It takes your determination to pull yourself out of the situation you're in. So if you're not willing to listen, if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to change, trust me, you'll continue suffering with your stress. So let's learn how to handle stress, and let's learn what we feed our brains. Remember, what you feed your brain is what manifests. Let me give you an example. If you told your brain that I'm scared, trust me, in a snap, you'll start being scared, you'll be frightened. Let me give you another example when it comes to women. If I believe most women, I don't know, I wouldn't confirm, but at least a percentage. If you say that I am pregnant, your brain will process that and it will give you all the signs and symptoms of pregnancy. And the only way how you know that you're not pregnant is when you run the test. Trust me, if you told your brain that you're pregnant, everything will, even your periods will be put on hold. Why? Because that is what you fed your mind, your brain. So my dear brothers and sisters, let's refrain from being stressed, because if we are excessively stressed, we are not productive at any point. We end up being in a confused state, in an unproductive state. And yet, we need people who are productive. We need the world is evolving every now and then. So it will not be there waiting for you to wake up from your depression or from your stress. So it is high time we learn how to let things go. We learn how to handle the situations that come and move forward. Remember, this is an evolving world. And when you look at the pace at which this world is moving, it is very fast. It is very fast, and it requires you to always be on top of it. It requires you to always think out of the box. So my dear brothers and sisters, it is high time we stopped feeding our brains with the word stress, stress, stress. Because stress is there, stress will always be here, and stress is not going anywhere. Everyone will be stressed, but how are we going to handle it? So let's not push ourselves into the chronic state of stress, that depression. Let's not push ourselves into becoming nuisance or useless people. Let's try to see how we can navigate and handle stress at all times. Whatever happens to you, it's not something that is new. It has not only happened to you, it has happened to several people in life. But people are still standing. Ask yourself, how come these people are still standing? What did they do different? So if you feel like you're in a situation and it is becoming too much, you can always share it out or look for someone and ask. I understand, because there are always motivation speakers, there are always people who tell their stories. Always look for them and ask them, how did you handle such and such a situation? This world is all about learning and unlearning. Don't get stuck in your old practices. We need to learn new practices, and those new practices should be practices that add value to you, that add value to the country you're serving, that add value to the community you're in. We need to impact our communities positively. You should not become someone whom they say that the time waster has come. No, you should be someone they look up to welcome in their midst. So we should learn how to handle stress. We should not continue saying, I'm stressed all the time, meaning that even when you're in a community or somewhere, they will always say the stressed one is there. So you wouldn't want to earn yourself such weird names. So instead of being stressed, you should be a person who always creates a solution for a problem that is at hand. So if you learn how to think out of the box, if you learn how to navigate the different situations, trust me, you'll never be stressed again. You'll only have that stress that is very important for your health, that will help you boost on your immunity, that will improve on your alertness, that will improve on your performance. And you will always prevent yourself from going into the chronic stress that endangers your life. So remember, stress is very detrimental to our health. It causes illnesses that never runs before. When we're in our schools learning about your human body, we have diseases that we call they name that these are diseases that run in a family. So however much, when it comes to diabetes, it's either in the family or lifestyle. So you will know that it is not in your family, but it is your lifestyle. So what are you going to do about your lifestyle to improve on your health? So don't overstress too much. We don't want you to run into diabetes. We don't want you to have high blood pressure that is not explained. Let's learn how to contain the situations around us. And the only way to do that is to always think out of the box. And how are you going to think about out of the box? How are you going to create solutions for the problems at hand? Always seek guidance. Always seek guidance. For example, you're in a school, you're just studying, Some will be stressed because of a coursework. Why would you be stressed? They are teachers. That's why teachers are there. They are hired because of you. So go to the teacher and ask for guidance. No one is an island. Remember, I told you, no one is an island. Consult the teacher will guide you, and trust me, you realize that you're smarter than what you thought. If it is workplace, there's a situation that has happened, ask your colleagues, when such a situation happens, what do you do to overcome it? What do you do? If it is marriage, most people have been in broken marriages and reconciled marriages. Go ask. If such a situation happens, you'll still have stories that have been posted. Ask them, what did you do? What helped you? So when you seek guidance, when you keep learning, when you keep teaching yourself, when you keep revolving, when you keep changing yourself from the version you were into a better version, trust me, you'll enjoy your health, and you improve on your health, and you'll be so happy in your life, and you'll be contributing to your community, to your country, and whoever you looks up to, you'll be contributing to them positively. So thank you very much. I hope you've learned one or two things. If you still want us to digest more about stress, you can still comment and say, you can still pose questions, you can still add on with solutions. Let's enjoy the learning together. But most importantly, I want to see that each one of us is healthy, because there is nothing that is impossible. Whatever you're going through, someone went through it and overcame it. So why do you want to get stuck in that situation? Don't ever get stuck. Getting stagnant is what will endanger your life. But looking for solutions is what will improve on your health. So let's become healthy together. Let's learn. Let's look for guidance. Let's look for ways out on how to improve ourselves and how to improve on our health. Thank you very much for listening in. This is your Nance Scovia Namhula, a celebrated hero back in my home country, Uganda, in the year 2022. So the celebration, they awarded me the extraordinary Nance for the creativity, innovations in health, such that we improve on the health sector, on the health of everyone. So my satisfaction comes from making sure that everyone is healthy. So I always prioritize service over reward. If you have ever come in contact with me, I only mean business. I always concentrate on service. Service comes first, then the other things follow. So I always make sure that the people I serve are comfortable, are healthy, because that is my calling, to make sure that everyone is healthy and fulfilled. Thank you very much. So if you feel my video is important or helpful, you've learned one or two things, share, invite a friend to watch in, comment. So on YouTube, you'll find me at Nance Scovia Uganda. My TikTok is Nance Scovia Namhula. My Facebook is Hilda Scholastic. My Instagram is Scovia Namhula. My LinkedIn is Scovia Namhula. So let's learn together. Let's learn one or two things, and let's comment. The more you comment, the more you give me feedback, is the more I see how we can improve together. Remember, this is a community, this is a service to you. I need to see that you're benefiting from it. Yeah, and I'm also benefiting from you. If I see you benefiting, I know that's how I'll be rewarded, that yes, my people are learning what to do. They're improving on their health in different aspects. Thank you very much. Remember to always feed your mind, stroke brain with positive thinking. Remember to feed your brain, your mind with the right things. Never be on the negative lane. I sign out.